Ah, dude, what's better than the Leafs beating the Senators? Beating the Senators in Ottawa? That's pretty good, but I was thinking holding Daniel Alfredson off the score sheet. Sorry, what? Do you see his name on the sheet? No. Told you, man, this seems good. Woo! Are you just gonna get hammered? Get me a toaster. Magic Angel Robot from Winnipeg.
What the hell are you talking about?
This team is ruining my life. Leafs win 5-3 over the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa in the 100th edition of the Battle of Ontario. That was confusing to me before the game. I thought for sure the Leafs and Sens had played more games than that. Maybe all those playoff wins just inflated that number in my head. So the Leafs, back-to-back wins on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Beautiful, 4 points. 5 goals in each game, 10 goals total. And some of the best junior hockey you're ever gonna watch. I thought the Leafs-Rangers game was a little bit of sloppy chaos, and this Leafs-Sens game was more of the same. How about that goaltending clinic? This close to getting a Robin Lehner jersey. Now look, I try to stay informed on the entire league, not just the Leafs. I mean, I like to do videos during the playoffs, and the Leafs, well, they're usually not there. And there are a few players I like watching because they're truly special. The Sidney Crosbys, the Steven Stamkoses. Then some players I like watching just because they're really fun to watch. Kind of ashamed to admit it, but I gotta say, Brendan Gallagher, that pesky little jerk crawling up your leg every game. And then there are players I like watching because I'm like, what is this guy's deal? Robin Lehner is one of those guys I've been paying attention to for a few years now because it's like spin the wheel. Just type in Robin Lehner on YouTube and see what you get. Truly talented goalie, truly talented athlete who just snaps. Freaking out on people, going all flip mode, getting rattled. And he didn't exactly do that in this game, but whoa, did he let in some bad ones. Even some of the deflected ones, I'm like, you're 7 foot a billion. Anyway, I bring him up not to pick on him. I bring him up because he's just a mixed bag. A bag of trail mix, if you will. And the Leafs reached in and pulled out 5 M&Ms, which is usually enough to win. That's just a terrible analogy. I tried it though, I went with it. So the Peter Holland goal, I love that they reviewed it. And yeah, the puck kind of disappeared, but I don't even think that's why they reviewed it. You ever see a goal so bad where you're like, no, that couldn't have been, you have to review it. That was one of those goals. And the JVR goal was hilarious. Not every day you see a puck bounce up and over the goalie, especially one that tall. And I'm looking at both those goals just going, wow, it really could just be 2-0 Sens right now. Sens crashing the net, getting in Reimer's kitchen, big screens. And the puck just makes it into the Sens net like doop 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 doop. One last thing about the Sens and then it's all Leafs from there on out. Sometimes you look around the league, you look around the Eastern Conference, you look around the Leafs division and you go, uh-oh. Mark Stone, who scored the 3-2 goal for the Sens, he's one of those players I look at and go, that's gonna end up being a problem. Because he's already a big boy and he's gonna pack on some of that man strength. You know, some of that hunting in the woods with nothing but your hands and teeth strength. Just coming back with a squirrel in his mouth. And Paul McLean's just like, well done, Mark. Because Paul McLean's mustache is a green crayon. Anyway, here's the thing about the Leafs. A lot of their fundamental problems from last year are still there. The whole issue about getting outshot has really not gotten better. If I'm not mistaken, the numbers are slightly better this year so far, but really not that much. But I look at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th goals by the Leafs and I go, you know what? They might be alright. Trevor Smith in front to Josh Levo, bang in, there's a goal. Peter Holland taking advantage of Erik Karlsson, who is amazing, making a careless error. Sets up Mike Santorelli, there's another shorty. Morgan Riley putting a shot on net, looked like it was his goal, but it wasn't. Whose was it? Davey Clarkman, 4th of the season. So okay, here, what do we have there? Now, at the end of the game, the Leafs had to hold on for dear life. They still have this huge problem of just crawling into a shell whenever they have a 3rd period lead. So that's a huge issue when we know that. But I look at those 3 goals. If there's injuries, there's guys they can call up, and they're not gonna suck. They got some versatile guys that can play 2nd, 3rd line minutes and play on your special teams. You got Morgan Riley, who sometimes looks like a player his age, but he's also making improvements and he's decent offensively. And you got David Clarkson, already 4 goals on the season. I say already because of how bad he was last season, on pace to hit the 20 goal mark. And oh my goodness, it's kind of terrifying to say, but the Leafs are a 4-line team. Think of it this way, and this is a pretty simplistic way to look at a stat, but whatever. Generally speaking, goals for good, goals against bad. Well, let's pretend breaking even is where the Leafs needed to be. Last season, the Leafs scored 222 goals and allowed 252. That's -30. How do you make up those 30 goals? Well, last year, Jay McClement scored 4 goals, but after that, the Leafs' 4th line did nothing. Carter Ashton, nothing. Jared Smithson, nothing. Colton Orr, nothing. Fraser McLaren, nothing. The 4 guys I just mentioned combined for 3 points. All assists, all by Carter Ashton. So if you look at the guys in the 4th line, at least when it's healthy, you know, maybe a David Booth when he comes back, maybe a Brandon Kozin, maybe it ends up being Josh Levo, Sam Carrick. Hell, I mean, last week it was Peter Holland, wasn't it? If you get like 15 goals out of your fourth line all year, it's still a great improvement on last year. And then you look at a guy like David Clarkson, who, he's a lot of fun to make fun of, but he's not gonna have a season like he did last season again. At least I don't think so. And the next time he does, he'll be done. Oh, he might still get paid, but he'll be done. If he bags 20 this season, even if he bags 15, that's a huge improvement. And the Leafs defense, for as bad as it is at keeping the puck out of its own net, is still pretty decent at putting the puck into the opponents. So then you get into, will Phil Kessel stay healthy? Will JVR stay healthy? The Leafs still can't really afford to lose a center, in my opinion. The Leafs are definitely a flawed team, and if they're a playoff team, they're barely a playoff team, but there's something there. So, that's it for the game talk. Do you have a Poppy? Do you have several? Because they're really easy to lose. You know what's funny? A couple of videos ago when I was like, you gotta buy more than one Poppy if you lose them, I went out and bought 4 that day. I have like 2 left. But that actually kind of proves my point, doesn't it? And here's the thing about Remembrance Day. It's called Remembrance Day. Well, I'm 26. And I know you watching, you're all varying ages, but chances are you ain't my 89-year-old grandpa. My 89-year-old grandpa who fought in World War II. And Remembrance Day is Remembrance Day for him because he remembers. But for us, the younger generation, it's our job to learn. So I'm from a generation of kids where we could talk to our grandparents and learn all about World War II. And I mean, you learn about it in school, which is very important, but I mean, it's hard to beat the first-hand account. But I just worry though, because even though I'm a young guy, some of the people younger than me are not gonna get those first-hand accounts. And all of a sudden, those sacrifices, those millions and millions of lives just become something you learn in school and a Call of Duty video game. And maybe this is shoehorning it a little bit, but you live in a society where you have really fast internet because of those men and women who fought. The least you can do is use that really fast internet to look them up and learn some things about them. Sorry to go all Don Cherry, it's just I see people without a Poppy and I got all pissed off. That's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video, click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell everybody you know, and I will see you next time. Well... Well done, Mark. Because Doug McLean's... Doug McLean... It's Paul McLean, you idiot!